Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. Now, in chapter 10, we have a genealogy. And you have to remember, this is all about the families of Noah and his sons, right? And all these nations are descended from Adam through Noah and his sons. And God had said that they were supposed to scatter and fill the earth. But here we are in verse 1, and they all have a common language. And they were supposed to spread over all the earth. And they don't believe that God is going to make them scatter. And they're like, before we do that, let's first build a city and a tower as a monument to our achievements, right? And part of this is they don't believe that God is going to scatter them. And it's part of their contempt for God that they decide to make ready this new temple structure. This is a worship structure. And so they're getting all the bricks together. Now, bricks are a new technology at that time. And they're utilizing this new technology to reach up to heaven. And they say, let us make a name for ourselves. And just the statement belies their arrogance. That they're stepping out of the simplicity of simply living in obedience to God. And with the knowledge that they've obtained, like brick making, they're becoming disobedient and they're moving away from God. And you think about how important the name of God is. The name of God is his reputation. It is his character. It is who God is. As it says in Psalm 8, O Lord, our sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth. And here these folks are saying, let us make a name, not for God. Let's not glorify God. It's a worship place, but they're not worried about worshiping God. They're worried about worshiping themselves. And we're going to make our own way to heaven. We're building a place of heaven that will work our way up to God rather than receiving the grace that he gives us. And they're trying to storm heaven by their efforts, by their good works. And they assume that God does not see what they're doing, and that God is unaware of their mischief, right? But again, let us make a name for ourselves shows, the extraordinary smugness and the pride they have, where they put their trust in the things of this world rather than trusting God, but also that they have a contempt for God. Because it's not about God, it's about themselves. And the Lord, who is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, undivided, inseparable unity, that God who gave language now has decided to confuse it. He says, let's go down, which is funny. It's supposed to be a tower reaching up to heaven, but God still has to come down to them to see what they're doing. And he decides, well, it's going to confuse their language. And God is the source of language. God is the source of intellect. And this punishment isn't just for one generation. This punishment lasts throughout human history. It continues today. It is the multiplicity of languages that continues to create the chaos of differing opinions and ideas that is the instigator of discord and war, right? And even though the sons of men know that they're sinning, they sort of ignore it. Their smugness overcomes their fear and their intent to do this. To build their own righteousness is extreme. And God doesn't make a battering ram or a siege weapon to knock down their tower. He just confuses their tongues because every kingdom divided against itself is laid to waste. And the confusion of the language gives rise to the disunity. But we know that on Pentecost, God is going to use all the tongues to bring us together as the church in Jesus Christ. Hey, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.